Hey everyone, today is September 26th and we've gotten a great introduction into the New Testament. I hope you are enjoying seeing the parallels of the different accounts, the narrative of Jesus, which gospel recorded this and which gospel recorded this, and then seeing the different perspectives of Matthew's version of this and John's version of this or Luke's version of this. I love where we are right now. It's very, very exciting. We're going to take our lesson over from Matthew chapter 2. My goodness, if I can find it, Matthew chapter 2. It is somewhere in here. Here it is. Okay, and it's not Matthew. It is Luke chapter 2. I have it wrong in my notes. It is Luke chapter 2. That's why I couldn't find it in Matthew. Matthew chapter 2, we have this situation here with Jesus' parents showing their devotion and dedication to the law, to the faith, by coming every year to the Passover festival. So we see right at a very young age that Jesus' parents are showing him, demonstrating to him and their other children the importance of being devoted in the faith. I love that example that we see. And then we see how they came in and then they left, and then we have this little, I underline the word 3 days because I'm fascinated with numbers in the Bible and how many times 3 days happens, how many days on the seventh day this happened, there were 49 days here or whatever. So I have 3 days underlined, but they realized that Jesus was not with them. Now, let me just share. I may have shared this story before, and if I have, just act like you hadn't heard it before. So when my children were little, Griffin was like a baby, he was less than a year old. Let's see, Blair would have been 3.5, so Griffin probably would have been like 1. And we were at the beach. We took my mother-in-law with us. Love to take a babysitter with you. And I'm going to pause for just a second. And I'm going to put something over this air conditioning vent. Not because it's too cold, but because I think it's noisy. All right. And so we were at the beach, and Blair loved to pick up shells and rocks, and we thought she was going to be a geologist when she grew up because she loved rocks. So Scott, my mother-in-law, had Griffin over at the pool of the condominium where we were staying, and I had Blair on the beach, and I had her in my sights, like not very far from me at all, not like a long distance, just like my chair's right here. And I see her. She's got her little bucket. I think she had a bucket, or maybe she's just putting them in her hands. She's just putting them in her hands. And literally, you've seen this in accounts before. I looked away for like a second and a half. And she's gone. Now, this was not during off-peak season. This was during peak season. There were wall-to-wall people everywhere. I began to panic, almost hyperventilating. I run down. I can't find her. I ask, have you seen the little girl in the pink bathing suit? Have you seen the little girl in the pink bathing suit? They can't. And nobody really wanted to help me. Okay, so I'll park that thought. But anyways, so I immediately ran up to the pool, shout to Scott, what has happened? My mother-in-law takes care of Griffin, and we start I tell him what happened, and we just go back to the spot, and he goes this way down the beach, like y'all are ocean side, goes this way down the beach, and I go down this way down the beach, and I am just in a panic. I don't know how long she was gone from me. I really don't. But I remember her running up to me. Scott had found her, and he said to her, run up to your mother and she'll be so glad to see you. And I swooped her up in my arms, and I went straight down on my knees in the sand, water splashing up on me, thanking God out loud that my child had returned. Honestly, it couldn't have been more than 5 minutes. I say all that to say this. And if you have ever misplaced a child in a store, on a beach, in an amusement park, anywhere, a park, you know what I'm talking about. I can only imagine what they felt. 3 days, Mary cannot find her son. The son who is going to save the world. The son whose name is Jesus. She's lost Jesus. Now, my baby's important to me. Yes, but my baby wasn't Jesus. Can you imagine? I've lost Jesus. So what do? They turn around. They go back. His parents didn't know what to think. They found him answering questions. His parents didn't know what to think. His mother said to him, why have you done this to us? Your father and I had been frantic, searching for you everywhere. He says, but why did you need to search? He asked, didn't you know I must be in my father's house? Now, that might have just been like, what? This is your father? Or what did the other people think when he said, my father's house? Were they going, this is Joseph's house? I mean, I can't even dive into that part of it, but that just bears discussing. But we don't have time to do that today. But here's the thing. We need to be worried. Not worried. We need to be concerned about our reputation. A reputation is the estimation in which a person or thing is held, especially by the community or public in general. So, Jesus was like, well, why did you search for me? Didn't you know I would be here? What is our reputation? Like, I just put some questions about our Father's business. Am I living my life so my co-workers know who my Father is? Am I in my Father's house regularly so my neighbors knew who my Father is? Am I forsaking the things of the world so others know who my Father is? Am I telling others about my Father so He can be their Father too? Am I about my Father's business? That's what Jesus was doing. He was about His Father's business. He was in His Father's house about His Father's business, teaching and answering questions at this young age. So what is our Father about? I thought of 3 things, and there are many, but the nutshell is love, sacrifice, and forgiveness. Those are the things that we should be about. Does our reputation speak of love, sacrifice, and forgiveness? Are we about our Father's business? We can go to our Father's house every Sunday. We can go to our Father's house every time the door opens. But are we about our Father's business? I have to think about that and ask myself these questions. These are great questions to maybe put in a journal or in your prayer room near where you have your prayer time, and really assess yourself constantly. Me, assess myself constantly and keep myself in check. Keep my reputation in check and make sure that I know exactly whose business I'm all about. And it's not the book selling business. It's not the Wendy Pope business. It's not the speaking business. It's not even the Pope business, the Pope family business. First and foremost, my business is about the gospel of Jesus Christ. And then other things fall in place behind that. Something to think about today. We'll see you next time on Read Through the Word.